What's up guys, how's it going? Back with another video. So as you can read, today's topic is 3 ways to stay sane while your gym is closed. Now my gym has been closed for about 2 months, still hasn't opened. All my friends' gyms are opening, but my gym hasn't. Now the first thing to realize is that it is an addiction. I know this seems a little bit extreme to say, but it's true. If something gets taken away from you and you crave it and you need it and you feel lost without it, then it was definitely an addiction. Not a physical addiction necessarily, but a psychological addiction. So I think it's important to realize that. Now the first thing to do is to try to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. How important is the gym really? Honestly, it's just picking things up off the ground. It's just moving something from here to there. It's just sitting down on a bench and lifting things. It's just standing on a treadmill and walking. Really nothing amazing. There's nothing noble. There's no higher calling of lifting things, especially in a certain place. There's nothing really special about that. Maybe you miss the gym, you crave the gym, you physically need the gym, but you don't, really. You can replace it, you can do other things, as I'll talk about later, and there are more important things than the gym. We are talking about an incredibly unique time where you can literally save lives by not going to the gym, by not going to the bar, to the restaurant, to the club, to the library, wherever, and just staying home. How hard is it to stay home? I mean, really. So in 5 years, if you compare your physique with this 2 months of gym or without this 2 months of gym, what is the difference really going to be? Very, very little. In fact, it's probably going to be indistinguishable. Plus, there are young people with healthy immune systems who are dying from this, who are getting permanent lung damage, who are getting organ failure. And so, even if it's not a very high percentage, I think it's still worth taking into consideration. So I know this isn't always easy, but try to take a step back. Look at how much it actually matters for you, for society, and then realize that it just doesn't matter that much. And I say this as a trainer, as someone who writes training plans and coaches people. It just doesn't matter that much. Number 2 would be get a new goal. So honestly, just get the barbell out of your head, dumbbells, banish them from your thoughts. Just find something new and make it relate to that previous goal. So if you wanted to bench press something, well, now you're doing push-ups instead. If you wanted to squat before, now you're doing a vertical jump. If you wanted to deadlift something, do a broad jump. Set new goals, attach them to your previous goals, and that will give you motivation to actually achieve these new goals. Use your passion for the gym, but apply it in a way that does not require the gym. So say, oh, I'm gonna do more mobility work. I'm gonna improve my technique. I'm gonna improve my endurance. I'm gonna improve my recovery capacity. Try to work on things that don't require the gym. And honestly, unless you are incredibly strong, there are probably some variations of calisthenics that can still be very challenging. And for me, I took it upon myself to try to learn these more advanced variations, which I still haven't even succeeded at. So I'm still working at these after 2 months. So I think for most people, you're gonna find some kind of new goal that is sufficiently challenging. I mean, it could be running, it could be, a forward lever, it could be planche. Any of these things are gonna be, pretty challenging. For example, yesterday I did the CrossFit workout Murph. Now, I've never been a huge fan of CrossFit. That doesn't mean I hate it, I'm not a huge fan of it. Mostly because of their programming perspectives. But I'm actually pretty sore. Like, my chest is actually sore, my lats, my quads. And, it's just a new challenge. It's something to keep me interested in training, excited, keep me moving, active, recovering, and improving. And I think the most important thing is that you can attach these goals to your previous goals. If someone said to me, oh, Jeff, do you want to go do ballet? I would say, F off, that's stupid, I don't want to do that. But something like CrossFit, it's similar enough to my passion that I can see the benefit. I can see the overlap, and I can attach my passion from bodybuilding to CrossFit. And so for me, it's possible to still get excited about CrossFit. Now, obviously that's just me. That's just an anecdote of myself. For you, it could be something completely different. So find whatever it is that gets you excited about training. It has to be something, anything but competitive eating, basically. As long as it keeps you moving and active, it's a good solution. As long as you get excited about it and you get passionate about it. I think what I'll do is I'll brainstorm a list of possible choices and I'll put them on the screen right here. Just a list of solutions, of suggestions from me to you that might be a good option to replace the gym. in the next month or two. Number 3 is going to be understanding the training and detraining process. So a lot of people don't actually understand how the body becomes fitter and less fit. And while it's very complicated, the body will retrain faster than it originally trained. It's not like you take a week off from the gym and then boom, your biceps are gone. It takes really months of complete rest to really see appreciable muscle loss. Another thing is that it comes back a lot quicker than you think. And the primary reason for this is that when you first train a muscle and it gets bigger, that is different from the second time and onward. Your muscles have what are called satellite cells. So I talked about this a little bit before in a previous video, but basically what happens is that on the outside of your muscle cells, there's these little satellite cells, these nuclei that can be donated into the muscle after a heavier hard training session. When that happens, the muscle can grow. You see, a muscle cell is different from most other cells in the body. When you think of the word cell, you're probably thinking like a blob with a nuclei in the center. But that's not a muscle cell. A muscle cell is long and thin. A muscle cell can actually be up to a foot long. The muscles in your quads, those are each one cell. The cell goes from all the way from the top near your pelvis down to your knee. So it stretches that entire length, and that's one cell that can stretch that entire length. Now this is getting a little bit in depth, so stay with me. Each muscle cell has many different nuclei. It's like a string of beads, and every bead is a nuclei that can control that portion of the muscle fiber. So when these satellite cells get donated into the cell, they become nuclei and they allow the cell to get bigger as a whole, because the nuclei are the limiting factor for growth. When you detrain, you lose muscle size, but you don't lose those nuclei. Those stay with you. Then when you start training again, the muscle can grow much more quickly because it doesn't need to go through that step of the satellite cell being donated into the cell. So this is why muscle memory is so powerful and so strong. So let's say that I stopped lifting completely for like 5 years, and I went distance running and I didn't lift at all, and I lost like all of my muscle. I went back down to like 70 kilos, a little skinny guy. I could probably get back to 90 kilos within a year of hard training, naturally, because the body's ability to retrain is much more powerful than initially to train. So keep in mind, even if you do lose muscle, which won't be very much if you keep doing bodyweight exercises, it'll come back really, really fast. Now, how do you minimize this muscle loss? Because you do want to minimize it. It's not like you want to lose muscle. Eat plenty of protein, get plenty of sleep, have an overall healthy diet, de-stress, chill out. I know that's not easy right now. I realize this isn't the end of the world. It's just the end of your time in the gym for a few weeks, maybe a few months. Again, not that big a deal. I think it also helps to have goals outside of the gym. So some people, it's a little bit sad, the gym is everything to them. It is their whole life. I think that is kind of sad and a little bit unhealthy. Take this opportunity as a way to learn about other topics, other fields. Get excited about music, politics, religion, endocrinology, archaeology, philosophy. Learn a new board game, learn a new party trick. Anything, really. Anything outside of the gym that is not related to lifting weights. Because there's honestly so much more to life than just going to the gym or lifting heavy weights. The most amazing thing about people is not our bodies, it's our brains. So maybe take this as an opportunity to focus on stuff above the neck rather than below the neck. Aight, that is all for today. Make sure to like and to subscribe right here. Do it. And I'll see you next time.